Bye. that here in the United States, the Zionists and their co-religionists have complete control of our government. For many reasons, too many and too complex to go in here at this time, I'll be glad to answer questions, however, to support that statement. The Zionists and their co-religionists rule this United States as though they were the absolute monarchs of this country. Now you say, well, that's a very broad statement to make, but let me show what happened while you were, I don't want to wear that out. Let me show you what happened while we were all asleep. I'm including myself with you. We were all asleep. What happened? World War I broke out in the summer of 1914. 1914 was the year in which World War I broke out. There are a few people here my age who remember that. Now, that war was waged on one side by Great Britain, France, and Russia, and on the other side by Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Turkey. What happened? Within 2 years, Germany had won that war. Not alone won it nominally, but won it actually. The German submarines, which were a surprise to the world, had swept all the convoys from the Atlantic Ocean, and Great Britain stood there without ammunition for her soldiers, stood there with 1 week's food supply facing her, and after that, starvation. At that time, the French army had mutinied. They lost 600,000 of the flower of the French youth in the defense of Verdun on the Somme. The Russian army was defecting. They were picking up their toys and going home. They didn't want to play war anymore. They didn't like the Tsar. And the Italian army had collapsed. Now, Germany, not a shot had been fired on the German soil. Not an enemy soldier had crossed the border into Germany. And yet, here was Germany offering England peace terms. They offered England a negotiated peace on what the lawyers call a status quo ante basis. That means let's call the war off and let everything be as it was before the war started. Well,
good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am the Watchman. I am. Hold on a second. Someone's trying to. I am Leonard McKenzie, the Watchman McKenzie. I am also the pastor of Disciples of Christ Ministries, where we come to educate, encourage, empower, equip, and edify the men and women of God. As a watchman, I also come to educate, encourage, empower, equip, and edify the men and women of God. So I like to say, good evening, Brother Hodges. Brother Hodge, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Those of you who's on Facebook, those of you who are on YouTube, I would like for you to like and share this broadcast. Call somebody and let them know that that we are here. We are here. The Watchman's here. Tatiana, put in Facebook the Ezekiel Watchman channel on YouTube. Let somebody, if you're on Facebook, let somebody know that we're also, who don't have a Facebook channel, let them know that we're also on YouTube. Let them know, please. And if you have any comments or questions, go ahead, put your comment in, and we will work on trying to get to it. Last week it was phenomenal. We had so many comments and questions that we couldn't get to them all that night. But if you want to call in, you can call in. On the bottom of the feed here is the phone line to call in. It's 816-800-0078. My phone is right here beside me. So if you want to call in and voice your opinion, I said call in and voice your opinion. That's fine too. That's fine too. Or if you want to come on live with me, go ahead and put out there that you want to come on live. That way, I will let Tatiana send you the code to come in live. This is an open forum, y'all. This is just not the Watchman hour. This is for everyone. This broadcast will be a weekly talk show type of format. It's a talk show type of format, almost like a radio type of format, which in the future I will be working on a podcast or a radio channel. So this information need to be put out to those who don't want to pay attention, or those who don't want to do the research themselves. I don't have no problem doing it because I am a watchman. I am a watchman. And if you want to be able to, like I said, if you want to come in, go ahead and either call in, type it in, or want to go live, come on live. It's all here. It's all good. This format is not just for the Christian, the believer, the atheist, black, white, Jew, Gentile. This is for everybody. I don't care what denomination you are. As a watchman, I'm for the people. I don't care what format. I don't care how you live. If you're still breathing, you're still a child of God. And being a child of God, I have to blow the shofar. As you see, and as always, before the broadcast, you will hear the shofar being blown. So I will blow the shofar when that time comes. Could you guys let me know? I know Brother Hodge is out there. Could you guys on Facebook and on YouTube, could you guys let me know who is here? Who is here? Let me know who is here, please and thank you. So we can move on. Now, what you have seen, what you were seeing in the beginning, that was a video, an audio video of Benjamin Friedman. He was an individual that changed religions. He was an Ashkenazi Jew who changed religions to become a Christian. And he was stating that that there are entities and there are people that is in control. That are in control. He was talking about what happened in World War I. But I'm gonna come back to that. I want you guys to get a glimpse or just get a taste or to be able to see that the footage exists. I bring you the receipts. I bring to you the receipts. I'm not just talking to be talking. When I come to you, I come with receipts. And if anyone have more information what I'm talking about, or they want to know more, let me know. Or if you just want to combat what I'm saying, please, by all means, if you do, bring your receipts. That's all I ask. I don't want you to just come on and just start talking about what I'm saying is not true and not real unless you have your receipts. I am not above reproach. I can be wrong because I don't know everything, but I know enough to get you started. Amen. So let's go ahead and move on. I see my sister and brother out there, Shirley and Larry. I see you guys out there. God bless you. Now, Now let me go ahead and start with this thing because I'm gonna stay local right here for a second. Because and I would like someone's help because I don't know where they went or where they sent them to. I would like to know. Because here in Kansas City, some of you may know that in December, the Disciples of Christ Ministries, Kimora, Tatiana, and myself, we went out and distributed warming supplies for the houseless community, We went to this location that was down off of 11th and Harrison. 11th and Harrison. There was it was a pretty large population of the houseless community there, and we had a good time distributing those items out. But I got wind last week that that someone put on Facebook that they moved the people away. When I go to work every day, I go to work and I drive past the area where they were at, and I would see the tents along the fence. So as I was driving a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, whoa, the tents are getting less and less. Then one day I said, there's no more tents. I wonder what happened. The tents were all gone. I didn't drive past the place, but I drove on the freeway. You can see it from the freeway as you're going downtown here in Kansas City. So I was like, what happened to them? Now I know that they got moved out, forced out, shipped out, just so they can put a dog park there. That bothers me real good. Because you took human lives. You took human people and transferred human people for animals. That is disgusting to me. You mean to tell me that this city put more value on animals than they do the human life? That is be dumbfounded to me. How they're going to move the people out of the way just to put a dog park there. The person on Facebook said they have two sections, one for the small dogs and one for the large dogs. And in that particular area, that is not a residential area. That's an area where they could have been, that was a perfect place for them. The perfect place for the houseless community. The perfect place. Where are the people going to come from to walk their dogs at that dog park? Because there's not a residential area. The closest residence is 3 blocks the other direction toward the downtown area. So these people are going to walk their dogs 3 blocks, cross the bridge over the freeway just to walk their dog in the park? To me, that sounds kind of wrong and suspect. Oh, by the way, Tatiana's right over here. Yes, she's off screen, but she's my producer and my editor tonight. But I want to let you guys know that that is a travesty. And if anybody know where these people are, if anybody know where these people are, what did they do with these the houseless community when they moved them out? Where are they at? I even heard that somebody said that Mayor Lucas was telling the police chief to arrest them and put them in jail. Those who are loitering. I don't know how accurate that is. But if somebody knows, if somebody else knows if that's accurate, go ahead and let me know. But I do want to know what did they do with those people? Because it was like almost 30 people there. 30, 10, 20, 30 tents there. I won't say people. It was more people, but 10 or 30 tents there. I wonder what they did with them. If anybody know, let me know. Okay, now. We started out talking about World War One. You already saw where I had up there the video the video of Benjamin Friedman when he was talking about how World War I started. I made the comment last night on how did World War II start. But it goes back to, I said World War I, but I meant World War II. But World War II started with World War I. So Benjamin Friedman was talking about how there was people, Ashkenazis, that was running things, and they was funding both sides, because in the World War I it started out with Great Britain, and Germany. Started with Great Britain and Germany. So they offered to give Germany the war, but it didn't work out because Germany said we can't give you what we don't own. So they go to Great Britain and say, "Hey, look, we have we will give you the give us if you give us Israel, we will help you win the war if you give us Israel." Great Britain said, "How would you do that?" By the Ashkenazis being rich and being powerful, they said that we have this little country across the water that owes us money. So they said, "Huh? The feed is lagging." Let me see something here. Let me try that. Okay, thanks for letting me know. They said, "How could you do it?" They said, "We have this country across the water that owes us money. We'll get them in." They said, "If you help us win the war, we will give you Jerusalem, Israel." But how can I give them Israel? And that's where the Balfour Agreement come from, or the Balfour paper. That's where that comes from. So look it up yourself. Balfour, Belfour, declaration or agreement is out there. See, they told us, they never told us how we got into World War One. They never told us how we got into World War Two. All we know is we were in there. We were there. So how did they get them into World War One? Through propaganda. Propaganda. Let me show you some of the flyers, some of the artwork that they want to say that they put out there. Let me see here. My computer. Come on, open up footage. Okay. Now, let me bring this up here. Let me see which one. Where's that at? Bear with me, beloved, because this is I really this is really okay. Here we go. This right here is one of the flyers that they used to come on, computer. I know it won't let me share. This is crazy. Okay, let me try that way. Okay. It should let me share that. Okay, right here is one of the propaganda footage they used. See, back then there was no internet. There was no Google. There were no cell phones. So they had to use stuff like this to persuade the American people that that there was problems going on in other places. So they said beat back the Hun, which is Vikings, which were violent people. They're saying that this is what the Germans look like. They put it out there because Woodrow Wilson, he ran a campaign that says he will not get in the war. That's how he won his presidency, saying he will not get in the war. But yet and still, when the Oscar Nazis came and told him that, look, we need you to fight. So what they did was they went and fought. They had told the people that the Jews were they were violent people. Let me see. Here's another one. Here's another one. They told them that that they ate babies. They told the people, okay, that they ate babies. Here it is right here. This stuff is true. You can go research it now. You can go look it up. Look it for yourself. It's out there. Now, the reason I'm telling you this, and the reason I'm saying this now, because it was a past, but this is what they're doing today. This is what they're doing today. Now, today, they're not using that type of stuff today because they can't. They can't. So they don't tell us all the information. I was sitting around thinking one day and wondering, this is about a week or so ago, wondering how many deaths were there in this war so far. Now they are pushing the fact that Russia is really killing people, hurting people, but yet and still they're not saying how many deaths is going on, which I understand that they don't want to do that because they don't want this country to go to war. You understand that they're saying that like 400 and something, there's like 400 something deaths. Let me check my phone again. Because it said that, let me double check it here. 400 and like 65 deaths since the 4th. Now, you see all the bombing that's going on over there? With all that bombing, how can it just be 400 deaths? It has to be more. Now, that was one source. Now, the New York Times, the LA Times, and the Washington Post have the exact same. They have the exact same article. The exact same. It says the United Nations has recorded at least 752 civilian casualties so far across Ukraine, with 221 killed and 525 injured, including scores of children. Well, if it's that, with all the bombing going on, with all the destruction going on, this is saying one thing. The CNN said another thing. I have this article from India News. Let me see if I can pull it up. India News right here that says totally different. Come on. I need you to move faster, computer. I need you to move faster now. No, that's not the one. That is not the one. I know I thought I put it in my folder. I put that joker in my folder. So this is why I need you to. Let's just do this one here. Because this one right here gives us a better depiction, another depiction on what's going on. Let me pull this one up. Because I was like, what? You mean tell me that is all the deaths that you're trying to tell me that's going on? Which my thinking, you see the blue lines here? This blue line right here. I wonder if I can make it look like I'm pointing to it. This the sharp blue line. Can you see the cursor on here? Can you see the cursor? The sharp blue line here, that is the total killed. That's the adults. It says 300. Can y'all see that? Let me see if I can make that bigger. It's can you see it? 352 killed, 14 children. Because at the very bottom you see the graph where it says total and of the children. So out of 352, there is 14 kids killed, and then you have 1,600 wounded adults, but 116 children. All that bombing going on, but those little deaths is not being reported correctly, what I'm saying. So therefore, they're telling us what they think we want to hear. This is what I believe. I believe that and through research and going through all this stuff, this is what I believe. You know, if somebody have a different opinion, that is fine. That is fine. But I believe that they're trying to create a situation where they're getting their money back from the pandemic. This the same thing they did with World War II. That is exactly why gas is so high. Okay, here we go. I had last week. I saw on the news. I listened to the radio, and they said gas was in December 1st. A barrel of oil, which make the gas, a barrel of oil was $66 a barrel in December 1st. As of the beginning of week before last, it was at 106. We was at 106. Thursday, it was at 110. Now, I just got at 5:25. Let me see if I can pull it up here. At 5:25, let me see. At 5:25, the oil a barrel went up to $130 a barrel. I'm gonna see. I should have. $130 a barrel. Let me see if this article will come up, because this is an article. Okay. Okay. Here's an article right here. Let me. Here's the article right here. This is the India Today article. This is not an American article. This is an article that's in another country. Now, I told you what I showed you what it said about about how many deaths it was with the I told you about the New York Times, New York LA Times, and the Washington Post. But this news article says this here. Russia-Ukraine war news update. And this is, what date is this? This is March 3rd. March 3rd. It says that Russia invaded Ukraine. Ukraine sources say that over 2,000 civilians have died since Russia's invasion. Now, I just told you that that the New York Times, LA Times, and Washington Post said that there were 752 civilians that was killed. Well, now we see here that this source here says 2,000 since the raid, and the sources and the New York Times and LA Times said this is from for March the 5th, March the 5th. So if the American newspaper says 752, but an Indian newspaper says 2,000, who's right? I would want to believe the Indian newspaper is right, because as you see, it says as of February 24th, that's when the war began. Here it is, March 3rd. The paper says March 3rd, but since then, only 752 deaths since then. I can't believe that. So on the same token, they're saying that over here in America, they're saying that there's not those many deaths, but also saying that there's over 9,000 Russian troops have been killed in the process. You see it you see it there, don't you? Can that be read? Or do I need to blow it up again? Make it full screen? Okay, let me make it full screen. Let me see here. Make that full screen. Let me make it full screen. There you go. Let me make it fuller screen. Make it bigger. But that'll help even more. Okay, let's scroll down and look. See, I listen to Bloomberg and all this. Listen to Bloomberg and I even listen to Fox News, because I don't do I don't let me hold on let me come back here for a second. Let me come back here for a second. Look, I'm gonna let you know that I don't do Republican. I don't do Democrat. So what I put out, I'm not putting out one side, because CNN is for the Democrats. Fox News is for the Republicans. So therefore, I'm not going to roll with either one. I'm going to check both sources and see who's telling the truth, or get a depiction of the truth. So I listen to both sides, because both sides can tell the truth on certain things. But back to this article. The article says that, come on, video, leave. I want to leave. Here it is. Okay, now look. Let's scroll down a little bit more. Let's see what it says here. It's broken down. It says here's a breakdown of the total deaths, number totals in Ukraine. Ukraine civilians, over 2,000. Ukraine troops, 2,870. Russian troops, 9,000. Russian troops. It said Russian troops over 9,000, according to the Ukraine president. You see there? Russian troops, 498, according to Russia. Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. I don't. Numbers don't lie. So who is telling the truth? This is what I believe, beloved. I believe that due to the fact that this country do not want to go to war and fight, so they're making it. They're sugarcoating the numbers. They're padding the numbers so the country won't go in outrage like they did in World War I when they showed that the propaganda flyers to get people to say, go fight. Go help the Jews fight. Go help Great Britain fight. And they did the exact same thing when World War II, because at that time, World War II started. They never, do anybody know when World War II started? I mean, why it started, not when, why? Do anybody know when World War II started? If you don't know, I'm going to tell you, because I never learned this in school. All I learned was Hitler was killing Jews, and so they went to go help fight, and then Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, so now they were fighting two wars. The United States was fighting in two wars. They was fighting Germany and Japan. Huh? Comment? You said? Brother Hodge said, Satan at work, chaos and confusion is where the powers that want us to be, and really themselves. Yes, sir, sir. Yes, sir. It says stay neutral because of propaganda. Absolutely. They're telling us what they want to tell us because they know we'll fall for it. It happened time and time again. They know what it takes to manipulate, to bamboozle, to hoodwink the people. They know what to do. They know what to do because they've done it before. So we have to understand that through gas prices, they're just going to go higher, beloveds. They're just going to go higher. And I heard just recently, which was like yesterday, that those, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, those who get Social Security, they have to spend all their money. They can't save the money that their parent or loved one worked for that they can receive because of their departure. So they have to spend it all or either send it back. That is crazy. Very crazy. So if they don't send it back, they will take it back. To me, that's telling me that that they don't want you to save no money to get a leg up. They want you to stay dependent on them. See, this stuff here will get you killed. For God I live and for God I die. They want people to stay dependent on them, so they tell them that you have to spend all your money or send it back. They don't care what you spend it on as long as you spend it. You can't save it for education. You can't save it for an adult. Can't save it for their children. So they have to get rid of it and send it, or either send it back, spend it, or send it back. Now we also got to deal with the high. We're dealing with high food prices. Not just gas now, because gas is going to keep going up. Because, like I said, it went from $110 a barrel one day, and the next day it went to $117 a barrel. And today, I just saw on Bloomberg where it said now it's at $130 a barrel. So in 2 days, in 3 days, gas here in Kansas City went up 40 cents in 2 days. No, 3 days, it went up 40 cents. Last week, it went up in 3 days, went up 40 cents. It's just going to give, it's going to increase. And now they are, and I put on Facebook where it says there are some people that is biting of the tree, the forbidden fruit. Let me explain why I said that. Because I put it out there, and folks looked at it. People don't comment on my stuff too much because I think they're afraid. No, hey, it's okay. If you're afraid, if you're scared, you're scared. Go to church. Hey, I understand. But it's not good because God didn't give you the spirit of fear if you believe in God. Or they don't like what I'm saying because it's not entertaining. It's not a booty shaking or muscle popping or making it whatever they do, clap, rain, stomp, whatever they say they do. It's not doing that. It's not violent. If I put out violent content, I'll get 10,000 likes, 20,000 views because it's violence. But since I don't do that, people don't pay attention to my stuff. It's okay though. It's okay. There's some people that do. It's okay. What I'm saying is gas prices is going higher. Now, not only gas prices going higher, check this out. Fertilizer prices increase the cost of food. And this article was March 1st. As you see, it says Russia is a major supplier of every crop nutrient, and higher supermarket bills will be a ripple effect of its invasion of Ukraine. So therefore, not only is Ukraine being affected by this war, the entire world is being affected by this war. Hey. I'm just saying what I see. The entire world is being affected by this war. High food, high gas, and if things start to continue to get higher, and they tell people that you can't save your money on Social Security, or because of the fact when you get it from a loved one or a family member, you can't save it. You have to spend it, but food and gas prices are still going higher. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Huh? People are going to be poorer. Yeah, they're going to be poor. They're going to be poorer. But also civil war, civil unrest. And when civil unrest come to play, what happens next is martial law. Martial law is where the government is going to take control of everything. With martial law, the Bible has to be foretold. See, I'm telling you these things because it is written in the scriptures. Because the scriptures give us the aftermath of what's going to happen, but we're now in the midst to get to the aftermath. I'm just saying, beloved, being a watchman, I'm on the wall blowing the shofar. And it is up to you to make that conscious decision to say what you need to do to make sure that you on point. I gave you footage. I gave you articles. I have more here now. But like I said, this is the Watchman Hour. This is going to be every Sunday. 7 o'clock every Sunday, the Watchman Hour. See, people don't want to hear this type of talk because they're scared. They're afraid. They don't want to hear this type of talk. But in the same token, it's going to happen. It's not going to be stopped. Me talking about it, me telling people about it, is not going to stop. Hold on, let me see something here. In that article, it says that It was $80 per acre for crops of corn last year. 2020 before the pandemic. It cost farmers $80 per acre to sell corn. Now it's 240. Let me not even tell it. Let me just show it. Let me just show it. Right here. Ben Reich, who farms a 16,000 acre in Iowa, would be ecstatic to get $80 per acre selling his corn. But it cost him $240 an acre to feed the plants with nitrogen. So if it costs that much, he's losing money. That's like triple, because 80 and 80 is 160. 160 is 240. That's like 4 times the cost. He's losing 4 times the cost of what he's making as a farmer. If he can't grow crops, if other people can't grow crops, then what? Now they're talking about the president telling their suggestions the president stop importing oil from Russia, which is only 3% of the America's oil supply. 3%. They said we should cut them off. So, but one side is saying if we stop, that'll put a strain on the American economy. The other side is saying no, it won't be a strain on the American economy because we have a resource. Either way, it's going to be a strain on the country because they want the prices to go up. They want the people to pay back the money they lost through the pandemic, through the stimulus checks, through those business checks. The folks who say they have businesses. To them, they want that, and unemployment. They want that money back. And they're getting that money back through the people. And when I made the statement about the people is biting the forbidden fruit, when they say these disasters are happening, then they turn around and say, travel has picked up. Flights have picked up. Vacations have picked up. Where are these people getting their money to go on vacations? Where are they getting this money to go out? Where are they getting the money to do these things? They're spending the money that they have, so when it comes time to shut everything down again, they will not have no money to do anything. So they're bidding the forbidden fruit by saying, letting the powers that be tell them that, hey, go spend your money. Go take trips. Go on vacation. It's getting back to normal. I see folks on Facebook all the time on the beach, laying back on the beach, stretched out, and going to other. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. With gas prices still going high, food prices going higher. Beloved, I want you to understand that this time, in this dispensation of time, we are going through things on a biblical proportion that cannot be turned around. If you want to be frivolous, spend frivolously, go right ahead. That's your free will. If you want to be frugal and you want to be paying attention to see what's going on, that's your desire too. But I suggest start stocking up. I suggest. I have rice and I have beans here. We're gonna get more. Trust me. I'm not trying to scare you, beloved. I'm not trying to scare you at all. I'm just giving you the truth of what's happening. They put out the propaganda to avoid war because if they go to war, let me tell you something. If they go to war, China is going to do the same thing that Japan did. The war started because a Jew killed a German. But at that time, the Germans were like slaves to the Jews. The Jews was beating the Germans up. The Jews was killing the Germans. But they don't tell you that in school. They don't tell you that. The Jews were hurting the Germans. So when Hitler came along, he said, look, enough is enough. We need to take our country back. When that Jew killed that German, Hitler said, that's enough. We need to take our country back. And because the Ashkenazis hated Germany, because of the fact of Germany was like, hey, look, let's cut them off. We're going to cut the Ashkenazi Jews off. We're going to stop doing business with them. We're going to shut them down. They said, oh, no, you can't shut us down. We run this stuff. We run these things, so you can't shut us down. So they put out propaganda to boycott Germany. So that's how Germany became the slaves or disenfranchised to the Jews at that time. Because from World War I to World War II, they was like, we're not going to associate with the Ashkenazis. But then the Ashkenazis said, hey, look, you can't stop us. We running this stuff. We running this John. This is us. So when they put up the propaganda about Germany, boycotting Germany, then America said, hey, look, let's go help Great Britain fight. No, not Great Britain. And so let's go help them fight. And then as they came over to help fight World War II, then Japan came over and bombed Pearl Harbor. I'm just saying, beloved, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And let people know that you are aware. Now they talk about the white community, the conscious community. I have no idea what that means. What I do know is I can share with you what I discover. And you can make a conscious decision for what you have been shown. Don't be scared, but be prepared. That's the motto. Be prepared. Don't be scared. Because in the end, everything is going to do a 180 or 360. Those of us who's already walking with God, they're going to turn to a 180. But those who's not walking with him, they're going to do a 360 and say, I was wrong. They will say that. Because the Bible is being foretold right now. You don't believe me? Go back and rewatch this. And go read 2 Timothy 3. And go read Matthew 24. And you tell me if what you read in those two books, doesn't it line up with what's going on today? Wars, rumors of wars, famine, pestilence, disease. Disease was the COVID. That was the disease. Pestilence is starvation. People are starving now. It's going to get worse because food prices are going higher. Hey, beloved, it's that time again. I want you to understand that this is not the type of forum that is intending to scare people. It is not. It is we coming to educate, encourage, empower, equip, and educate. And edify the men and women of God. I don't care if you don't believe in God. You don't have to if you don't believe in him. But he's still your God. You believe in him or not. You're still his child. If you believe in him or not. So as we leave here, I want to give you a little more of Benjamin Friedman and what he was saying. Because this is real powerful in what he was saying. Because I want
here in the United States, the Zionists and their co-religionists have complete control of our government. For many reasons, too many and too complex to go in here at this time. I'll be glad to answer questions, however, to support that statement. The Zionists and their co-religionists rule this United States as though they were the absolute monarchs of this country. Now you say, well, that's a very broad statement to make, but let me show what happened while you were, I don't want to wear that out. Let me show you what happened while we were all asleep. I'm including myself with you. We were all asleep. What happened? World War I broke out in the summer of 1914. 1914 was the year in which World War I broke out. There are a few people here my age who remember that. Now, that war was waged on one side by Great Britain, France, and Russia, and on the other side by Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Turkey. What happened? Within 2 years, Germany had won that war. Not alone won it nominally, but won it actually. The German submarines, which were a surprise to the world, had swept all the convoys from the Atlantic Ocean, and Great Britain stood there without ammunition for her soldiers, stood there with 1 week's food supply facing her, and after that, starvation. At that time, the French army had mutinied. They lost 600,000 of the flower of the French youth in the defense of Verdun on the Somme. The Russian army was defecting. They were picking up their toys and going home. They didn't want to play war anymore. They didn't like the Tsar. And the Italian army had collapsed. Now, Germany, not a shot had been fired on the German soil. Not an enemy soldier had crossed the border into Germany. And yet, here was Germany offering England peace terms. They offered England a negotiated peace.